Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, October the 10th. Hope everybody's had a good night or a good day so far, depending on where you live. We should have some trade setups starting today. They may have already started overnight in the Europe session, looks like. So I'm going to be on live today. If you'd hit the subscribe button to my YouTube channel, but then you're going to have to also click on the notify me, and then that will notify you whenever I come on live stream. That's the easiest way to do it. And if you don't mind hitting the like button too, that doesn't hurt. Appreciate all of that. We got CPI news coming up in the US, so that's going to be a market mover depending on whether it's good or bad. The pound dollar has made a 1 hour sell. Not much of a chance to get in there. But it may not be done to the upside just yet. But it's close. We'd like to see a little push up into here to have a chance to sell. Low risk trade. But it may or may not do that just yet. It's a parabolic SAR, which is what this is. You can get this anywhere. Is being a big move up. So it may come down some and then change before it starts heading back up to give us a sell. So we have to keep an eye on that. Aussie dollar 1 hours and a 1 hour sell. There was your chance to get in, low risk trade right there. Hard to get in these. I mean, you can, but it happens way too much. So I wait for the pull back up before you sell. Euro CAD. It's in a sell, but it's made a slight retracement. That's what this could be, a slight retracement. But it did make a big push up strong during Europe session. So it could be a pullback before it goes higher. Of course, it did fail there at resistance on the test. Didn't close above it. So CAD yen's got a 1 hour sell. It's right in there where it needs to be for a sell. A low risk trade. Of course, if it takes that high out, then you're going to get stopped out, but with very little risk. Aussie yen's in a 1 hour sell. Pound Aussies in a 1 hour buy. The pound got strong, looked like, and the euro overnight. There was your shot to get in right there. That was at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yep, 1 o'clock in the morning. Pound CAD, there's this push up. It's pulled back some. Again, it went up to resistance twice and failed. So we'll have to watch that. The pound yen came up, filled in the gap just like we thought it would. Now what to do for here? It's made a push above. That's a yearly resistance right up here. So it could retest that. That's where it fell from. Could retest that today, but during the daily resistance it's already closed above it, so we have to keep an eye on that. The yen pairs seem to be a little strong, but not too strong. The Euro New Zealand made a strong push up. It's kind of going sideways now. Have to keep an eye on it. That's resistance right there, so it hadn't got up to that yet. It could test it, go above it a little bit before it comes down, but it looks pretty strong right now. Pound New Zealand, same way. It came down. That's yearly support right there. It broke it, closed below it a little bit, and it's gone back above it. New Zealand yen is in a 1 hour sale. There's your opportunities to get short. You wanted to sell it right there, the low risk trade. We have to keep an eye on all these things. The New Zealand yen, the Euro yen, pretty strong, came up and filled the gap just like what we thought it would. It's closed above resistance, so now we're going to have to watch it and see what it does. This could just be a retracement sell. Theirs was a sell. But if it continues up, it's going up to here. And it's going to take out that high. And that'll be today. The Euro Aussie made a 1 hour buy. I really didn't have a chance to get in except for right there. That low is 64.44. That low is 64.64.8. That's basically about 24 pip risk. Pretty close to the max that I want to use. The Aussie dollar is pulling down. There was a chance to sell. If it pulls down into here, then you can move your stop up into here. The CAD yen is close. That's a really low risk trade there. 109.61. Been up to $60. About $3 risk right there. Let's hit up there once, up there a second time. So we got to watch this to see if it closes above this daily resistance here. It may not be done to the upside just yet. Aussie yen, same thing. It's resistance right up here on the daily. So if it does, it goes up. It's going to take out that high. There's not really a sell yet. If you got that, you could have got in here, I guess. Low risk trade. I record these sessions every day, so if you miss anything, you're welcome to come back and check it out. I usually have it done by a little after lunchtime, US time, because I'm usually on here for about 10:30, 11 o'clock, depending on what's going on. Sometimes these things are going just sideways, not really moving, and I hate to waste y'all's time. So we'll see here what's going on with pound Aussie. That was a pullbacks ran away now. Nothing to do here. But there is resistance up here, so they could come down a little bit more and then take off and go test this out. Because you're in a sell. There was your shot for your sell right there. The risk was 92.30 basically. And it pushed up to 92.14, so it's 16, so it's about 20 pips. That's good. And look what you got. A Euro CAD is pulling back down some. See, it went up and tested resistance there, but it is in a sell, but it hasn't filled in its gap. I'm looking for a buy to come up and fill that gap in, which means that it could test that resistance today, but that's a long way to go. So that might not happen till tonight. testing that, but it could start to move up. But we'll see. A lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Pound CAD same way, hit resistance. It's not filled in its gap either up here. That's from Sunday night's open. So we're going to watch that for a turnaround to the upside, and it could come and test this daily resistance. Now these are parabolic SARs. Like I said, you can get these anywhere. This is just a EMA moving average. You can get that anywhere. These are these blue arrows and orange arrows are just the trend for 1 hour, and there is from 4 hour when you change it to. You can get those anywhere. So we're going to keep an eye out for these trades today. Euro odd trying to push up. That was your only really shot right there, was those two. That one went a little bit lower to be able to get in. One, two, let's see. Looks like it's going to be a sunny day here today. We go to the pound dollar, still in a sell. Been hard to get that. See, these happen a lot after the set shows up, and then you have that. You could or could not get in. I mean, you might have if you wanted, but these have a tendency to continue moving higher, so you could get stopped out quite a bit doing that, as opposed to just waiting for the push up into here. And at that point, it's either going to be a push up higher for the day, or it's going to be going lower for the day, but then it makes a low risk trade. Here you don't know what it's going to do. It did go down another candle, but it's kind of retracing that now. Aussie dollar. Is in a sell. There was your opportunity right there. Let's see, that would have been 64.26, the low. About 90.36. Okay, so you'd have got the Aussie dollar, because it doesn't have a big range. I'm usually taking off half the position at 30 pips, because it only moves from 60 to 70 a day on a daily range, so it doesn't have as much of a range as some of the others. Here's the Cadian. Says now it's made a new, it's pushing above. It's not closed above it yet. That candle's still got 45 minutes, so that can change. It could go up and close above the resistance there. Could close and fail here. I mean, yeah, fail. So Aussie yen. Sold off some, really didn't have a chance to get in. Maybe if you want to get in there, I like to see the retracement up to here, knowing then, because if it takes it out, it's going up the rest of the day. If it fails here, then it's probably coming down and taking that lower low out down into here, and that's where I'll make my money. I like the low risk trades. That's what I look for, so you have to be patient and wait. This channel is swing trading. It's not day trading. Sometimes there is trades during the daytime, and sometimes there isn't. So this down here is a yearly pivot. You can get those most anywhere. Sometimes they're hard to find, because most everybody's got either a daily, a weekly, or a monthly, and they don't have a yearly. I like the yearly. You see what it done when it hit that. Boom. And let's go back where it hit it again. He hit it, it went up a little bit, hit it, went up even more, closed below it right there, which then became resistance, but now it's support again. but it's closed above it. So it came down to it, went up a little bit, came down to it again, and really made a big move. So you have to keep an eye on these yearlies, because those sometimes are the big movers. You can stay in it for a while. Let's say you didn't get that one. Let's say you did get this one. That was on September the 28th, and it went up until the 29th. Let me make sure. It's a one-day move. Yep. Then the wee hours of the 28th, after midnight, and then it went up until the morning. So that was a day, maybe a little bit more than a day. You had to hold it, but that's okay. You got this. If you got in there, or even there, that was on the 27th, so it was more of a 2-day hold. See if I can find the, I think the other one is too far back. But you see, when it got down that yearly resistance now, it's fighting it. Bouncing off of it, going below it a little bit, coming back above it a little bit. Yeah, that's too far back. Okay. Let's see if we can squeeze it in, maybe. No. Still showing the purple line. Gotta bounce, bounce, bounce. And we're back up here. Now is it going to sail back down into here? Because on the pound dollar 1 hour, you had no chance to get in. That or that were too far. The risk was too great. But you could have just still bought them off of the yearly pivot. Bought. But I'd like to see a pull back down into here somewhere for another buy, move higher. But it's going to take it a while for it to come down in here. So we have to patiently wait on that. So let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Squeeze it in even more where you can see where it's hit on the 4 hour, close below it, close back above it, hit it, come up, hit it, come up. How far are we going? Nobody knows. Did it come back and retest that? See, if we're looking for a buy down in here, it's going to have to come back below it, somewhere in here. And hopefully it's going to make a bigger move up to here, which would be, this is what I'm looking for right there. Push up somewhere into there. Hopefully it's not going to go straight up to there and then sell off, but it could. Have to keep an eye on it. So look at Aussie dollar, still trying to push down a little bit. Euro CAD kind of going sideways now, but it did make the up move. CAD yen, I got 40 minutes to wait on that candle, see what it does. Aussie yen's sold off some. Not really a chance for looking for a push up, but this looks like it's going to take that out and go up to resistance up there, and it could go above it a little bit. Now I'm not seeing my yearly pivot on here. Let's see what the 4 hour looks like and squeeze the picture. Still don't see it. I don't see any of them. Oh, there it is. See, it's below, which was support, is now resistance. So it's below it. So it could be a retracement, retest back up in there, which means it's going to take up that high, because in the 4 hour, it's in a buy. So we'll see if there is a, okay, now there's the yearly support pivot. So if it fails up in here, this is probably where we're heading to, going to test that. But are we going to head up here first and test it before we fall? Now these are in December 31st. These pivot numbers, they changed January the 1st. So we're into October already, so it's got, you know, basically a little over 3.5 months for it to do something. They could do both. It could go up and come back down here. But you have to monitor them. Whoops, am I going the wrong way? Oh yeah, that's right. I've got to make this bigger. There we go. That was the Aussie yen. The pound Aussie is pushing up. Nothing you can do. If you didn't get that, nothing you can do. It's going up to here. It's going up to that resistance. If you wanted to get in and trade it, but it could retrace before New York session opens. That's still over an hour away. So they could drive it back down. The big boys don't want to get in up here. They'd rather get in down here and then drive it up to there. Pound CAD still not doing it. Hit resistance there. And that's daily. But that's another higher daily. So the extended range. And it's got a gap to fill up in here. So I'm expecting this to push up. Pound CAD. Euro CAD got a gap to fill from Sunday night. Expecting this to push up. Of course, it's in a sell on the 1 hour. 4 hour is in a buy. But I think it came back up to where the sell was. Nope, still got a ways to go to that. But I'm expecting this to come up here and fill this gap in, maybe even test right up in here. And it could sell off. But we got CPI news in the US. That's going to move anything tied with the dollar, which would be the pound dollar, the Aussie dollar, the euro dollar, the New Zealand dollar, and the USD CAD. CAD yen, nothing to do. This candle's got basically 35 minutes still. Gotta wait, can't do nothing, have to wait. Aussie yen came up, closed above daily resistance, a higher resistance. It went up and touched it and failed, but it could go up and close above it, up into here. We'll look at the 4 hour longer term. It's in a sell, it's in a buy right now, but it had a sell. It could come back up, test it up into here before it sells off. The Japanese Bank of Japan will not step in just yet, because we're just barely trading over 149. They're not going to do anything until it gets over 150 again, just like they did last week. See, the New Zealand yen was looking at doing anything. Had a poke up a couple of times. Could have got in anywhere in there. That's, if you did, this is your stop for right now. That high is 89.69 basically. And if you got up in here, 89.65, so it's a $7 risk. $7. Now if this pushes down, takes that low out, pushes down, then you can move your stop to break even where you got in right there. And you should have, what I said was 65. Let's say it comes down, takes that out, comes down to there. That low is 27 or 23. Yep, 65, 20, so that's 40. So you'd have been able to take off half your position. Now New Zealand yen, it's usually moves about 60 to 70 pips as well, so I usually take it off 30, 35, somewhere right in there, half the position. And then of course once you do that, then you've moved this second half to break even. So that trade's either it's not going to lose anything, it's only going to make money, or it's going to break even. It won't lose anything. So you hope it continues down, and you continue moving your stops down. So you don't have to worry about trying to find another trade on that. Euro yen filled in its gap and it's sold off a little bit. But it did close above a daily resistance, and this could be a target above it for the day, which would take out that high, previous high, which was a sell, and it sold off. And this could sell off a little bit more, turn around, and then punch back up to here. So with that being up there, see, it really didn't give you much of a chance to get in. That may be right there, but there's no wick, which I like wicks on them. So it could punch back up into here with a wick, touch that, and then sell off. But there's nothing to do. They got to be patient. But if it did come down into here, though, that looks like a good buy opportunity for a move up. And if it takes out that low, then we know it's going lower. So that was the sell, just to fill in the gap. But all these are hindsight. As you can see, the pound New Zealand, nothing to do. It's run away. It's coming up to here. That's resistance. Euro New Zealand it should push up into here. That's resistance. There's the yearly pivot. That was support. It's now resistance. We'll squeeze it in so you can see it. It came up to it, closed above it, came back below it, up a little bit, and went up higher. And we closed below it, hit it, sold off, hit it, sold off. So are we going to come back and retest it? Now we'll see where the next support is. It could be too far down here. Yeah, that's a good ways down there. Now it can get down there. It's got over 3.5 months. So it could test that. So that's what it looks like long term. See, it was in a sell. There was your opportunities to get in short, low risk, and you've just wrote it down for a, let's see, October the 4th until pretty much yesterday. So 5 days you was in that. Actually a little over 5 days. Worth it though, ain't it? Don't have to worry about trying another place to get in. There was a pushed up, touched it, sold off, pushed up, touched it, sold off, and now we're trying to climb back up. That's where we're probably going, is up above this today. It may touch it and fail, or it could come above it and close above it, and then we could have a retest. But we'll monitor that too. That was on the 1 hour. But it is in a buy right now, Euro New Zealand. The pound yen, there's one daily resistance. There's the second one. It came up close to it. It filled in its gaps. We got to watch these because they could fail here like the New Zealand yen's trying to. It closed above the gap, but it's not going anywhere, at least not yet. It's got another, see, it's on the pivot too. If you can see that yellow line right here, that's a daily pivot. So right now we're above it. There you go, baby. Had it. What a good girl. Yeah. What a good girl. So we got to keep an eye on all these. The pound's trying to push up again. It got up to daily resistance, closed above it. It's going back below it, but it's not taking any of that out yet. And I think the next resistance is a good way up here, which it's got over 3.5 months. It could be, that's a good ways up there for the next resistance to come up, and that's a yearly pivot. We are looking at pound Aussie, made a move up. There was your sell. Now it's in a buy. That was your buy opportunity, and it's pushed up. Nothing to do here now. It's probably going to there today, and it may close above it. So it could come up here and test this before it sells off. And there should be, okay, see, now we're below the yearly support, still below it, and we'll see how far away. It's a pretty good way, so I'm going to have to go to 4 hour. There we go. So 4 hour and squeeze it in. There's the resistance. We came down, blew right through it. We've not come up and retested it. There should be a retestment. This could be the push up to the retesting. It's right there. That would be your stop right there if it takes that out. Actually, I might get in that. That could be a longer term. Even though it's made a push up, it goes against what but this is a 4 hour though. So I'm willing to hold that knowing, but it does need a push back down into here, because that buy just kind of ran away. I do need a pushback back down into here, so that'd be a better buy opportunity for target to there. Let's see, that low is 90.46 and we're trading at 91.53, so that's basically over 100 pip risk, $100 risk. So I may go really small, cut that in half, so it would be a $50 risk, bring it down to a third. I think that's what I'm going to do. Go long, do a third, $30 risk, and put the stop in right now. Put the stop in 190.45 is better. Okay, and the profit target is going to be up to here, 193.25. I'll put it in a little bit because it may just get a little bit short of it. 93.15. Okay, so we got that in. So, but I'm doing a third of a position, so that's a $30 risk. Because that's the max for me. And this is run up, and then it didn't run back down on the 4 hour. So I'm gonna go with a 1 hour and change this back. This has a big daily range. Usually on it is 50 or 60 pip. I take off half the position, but because I don't have a half a position, I got a third, I have to take it all off. But knowing that I've got a bigger profit target and it's going to be taken out that high, maybe not today, and to push up. Here on New Zealand, it's kind of gone sideways for the last 5 hours. Euro yen, same thing. New Zealand yen, pound dollar. It's trying to retrace that whole candle. Feel free to ask any questions or make comments. I'm open to both, always. The dollar trying to push down. Remember, if you got in up here and it pushed down, you should have half of your position, if that's what you want to do. That's just what I do. If you want to do an eighth, a fourth, a third, 3/4, whatever you feel comfortable with, that's what you do. The Aussie dollar's daily range is 60 to 70 pips, so I'm looking at 30 to 35, taking it off. If I see that it just goes 30 and then starts retracing and it wipes out that whole thing, I'm going to be at break even, so I'll move it up a couple of dollars. Because it shouldn't, if it's going to work, it shouldn't retrace that whole 30 pips back to you. It'll retrace half of it, maybe even 3/4 of it, but it shouldn't retrace the whole thing. As the New York session could bring in some selling, because it is still 30, 20, 50, 52 minutes away from the New York session open. I'm going to keep an eye on all these. CAD yen has nothing to do. It's got less than 22 minutes left in that candle. Nothing to do. And then I wait for my setup. If you miss any of the live stream, I'm live streaming. I have been for 2 weeks. Wednesday, I would have been live streaming. Yesterday I had a doctor's appointment, but by the time I got back from all that and ate lunch, and yeah, it was too late. I just had to do a regular video. To have a bunch of those, you're welcome to go back and look at those. I have losing trades in there, winning trades, both. So that way you can tell I lose sometimes. Pound dollar trying to wipe out that whole down candle there. Aussie dollar may have found a bottom there, possibly. 1, 2, 3 times it's hit that. Euro CAD trying to make a push back up. It's got a gap to fill up in here. So expecting it to go to that on the Euro CAD and the pound CAD as well. And I'll show you the pound CAD. There's the gap coming up to here, so there's a good chance if this is going to push up, it's going to push up into here. And maybe even test this other daily high, the higher daily high. The extended, that's what I call it. That's the extended daily high. That's the regular daily high, and you see it failed there in Europe session. Ran up to it. That's a big move. That low is 160. This is a pound CAD. 166.01. And ran up to 166.86. So that's an 85 pip. It has a 100 pip range daily. So it's not there. And it can go up to 120, which would be another 40 pips, and it could push up in here, fill in the gap. I think we're going to have a retest of that. Maybe even a little poke up above it like it did here on this, the yellow one, before it starts selling off. So if most of you who are here for the first time, or maybe even a couple times, I'm live streaming. It will be 2 weeks Wednesday that I've been on here live streaming every day. That's from 8 a.m. Eastern Time in the US. I do Monday through Thursday. Sometimes I come back on in the late afternoon in the US or the early evening of the Asia session to see if I need to move, adjust stops, target profits. Every once in a while, not very often, there's a potential trade set up. but I'm usually only on for 30 minutes. It don't take long to do that. And then Friday, I don't trade. I just look to see if there's anything to take off, or it just stops. That's it. And I'm not on long for that. It don't take long to do that, so there's no reason to live stream except on non-farm payroll day, because that gets kind of crazy. But I want to have my trades taken off before that comes out. And we just had it, so it's going to be almost another month, a little over 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks for the next report. But we do have a CPI report this week here in the U.S., which could be a major market mover, anything tied to the dollar. So just remember to keep an eye on that. So the Aussie yen, is it trying to push back up? No, not yet. New Zealand yen is going sideways. After it got to resistance, it's hit it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. It's never closed above it. But there is another potential target up in here, which could reach its daily range, which that was over here. So that low 89.22, it's been up to 68. That's only 40s, and it has a 60 to 70 pip range, which would take us up to that resistance. So this could continue to be a push up into here before it sells off, even though it's got a sell signal on the 1 hour, and there was your opportunities to get in. Yeah, if it makes a push down into here, then you move your stop from there to break even if you got in here, and you should be able to get, normally I take half position off at 30 to 35 because of the range on the New Zealand yen is not as big, just like the Aussie dollar is not as big, and the CAD yen is not as big. And it's trying to sell off, but it's got a little less than 16 minutes, nothing to do on that, even probably nothing to do on the next candle. So sit and wait on that. Euro Aussie is just continuing making a push up. It's probably going up here to resistance, may even push up above it a little bit, but it is in a 1 hour buy. The 4 hour is in a buy too. Going to squeeze it in. Let's see if there's a wow, not seeing any pivots on here. I don't understand that. Should be on there like the rest of them. As you can see, the 4 hours has been in a buy for a good while on the Euro Aussie. It just ran away. There's not been a retracement. Usually there's a retracement. See how like this one done. I know that there was an arrow that was here. That was the last one. It was over here. Again, it made the same thing. Made the run up. Ran away. You couldn't get in, but there was your pullback. Low risk trade to get in, and there's your big move. Now that's doesn't look like much because these are 4 hour. But that low, it looks like that took that out. Am I right? Yeah, it looks like it did. It's really close. But anyway, that 64.48 was that low, and that high is 66. So it's basically, that move is 200 pips, $200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 hours. It's almost a whole day it took to get to that. But isn't that worth $200? And then there's your sell. So yeah, I gotta see why that is not got my pivots on there. Euro yen trying to make a push up now. That's probably where it's going, but I don't know. New York session is what's going to move them. So I'd be kind of concerned because it has filled in the gap already on the euro yen. On that push up, it filled in the gap. So before the New York session, they could push this up to test it, and then it sells off. There's a gap to fill up here, so we got a little ways to go on the pound CAD and the euro CAD. See, now it's wiped out. It's making a bullish candle. It's completely wiped out that last 1 hour candle. So I'm expecting to move up to here, fill in the gap, maybe a little bit higher, possibly retest the extreme daily high. Pound Aussie. I'd like to see a pullback down into here somewhere. Even though I'm in that, but with just a third of a position, I got a $30 risk is all I got on that. But it's got a potential of almost a 200 pip move, so that's 7-to-1 risk rate. Well, it won't be $200 at a third. 1, 2, 3 third into 20. That's $70. So that's 2.5 to 1. Risk to rewards 2.5 to 1. So if you're new on here, first time, I'm live streaming. Be 2 weeks Wednesday that I've been on. You hit the subscribe button, and then you're also going to have to click on the notify me, and it will notify you as to when I'm on live streaming. That's the easiest way, because then all you have to do is just click on that when it pops up, and then you'll immediately be able to come on. I do Forex swing trading. For those of you that don't know, I don't do day trading, even though there sometimes is day trades. Or sometimes there isn't, and I hang on to them. I've held on them. The longest one I've ever held on to was a little over 2 weeks. That was in it, because it kept trending pretty strongly, and I was able to move my stop of my second half position that already made money in the first half of the position. And you say, why not hang on to when it gets to these? Well, you see this one, I missed this one. I wasn't up because that was in Europe session, 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's moved straight up. And that was your only chance to get in low risk trade. So if you're in Europe session, you got a chance to get in, and now you took off half your position, and you moved your stop up to break it, maybe even underneath these two, so that's going to make money too. And then you got a target where there's going to be some resistance. It's right up in here. So I look for low risk trades. Sometimes you miss them like that, sometimes you get them, like the Euro New Zealand. Didn't have a chance to get in. Those are too far, too big a risk, and it's just run away, gone sideways. Now I'm looking for it to go up to here, somewhere in there. But let's see if I can squeeze this in and then go back and show you my trades. This is what I look for. Have my signal show up. It goes up a little bit, comes back down, posts down. There's the low risk trade, and look what happened. Now you had to hold that for a couple of days, a little over 2 days, almost 3 days. But then you had another one that showed up that was right here. It ran straight up a little bit more, but then it poked down, gave you the opportunity, and then that trade would have made 76.68 up to 77.37. So it's 32. That's 70 pips. So that would have hit the first profit target, which would have been 60 on these. You'd have got half the position off, and then you would have moved your stop, which would have originally been there, to your break even, and then you could have pushed it up when it made the poke down here, and then pushed up higher. Then you can move the stop to there, which you would have got stopped out. But then it, see what happened, it dropped off with no reason to stay in it no more. So you made the 70 right there, or 60, I'm sorry, 60 right there. And then if you got in at the 68, and then this would have been 98, so that would have got 30 on the other part, so you'd have got a total of 90 pips for the day. So that'd have been $90. So that's what I look for. Pound yen, went up to resistance, didn't quite touch it, but it did fill in the gap, and now it's trying to sell off and looking for opportunity somewhere in here, or maybe even here, to go long. It's got the range, let's see, right there, that low is 181.54, then up to 82, so it's done its daily range. It's done its daily range, but we could test resistance. That's a yearly pivot. It was support, it became resistance because it's gone below it, went up and touched it, sold off, and here we are again. Is it going to push back up and touch it? So a low risk trade would be good into here, with that being the stop for a buy opportunity. Pound CAD, we're looking for a push up to fill in the gap there up in here, which if we get up into there, then we could test that today. The yen is in a sale, CAD yen's in a sale. It's still got 5 minutes for that candle, but then you got to wait on the next candle and then the one after that. So there's nothing to do on the CAD yen. Pound dollar is pushed down some, retraced some of it. It did close above the daily pivot, so we'll watch it to see what it's going to do. It could come back down in here, but the parabolic SAR is saying there's a good chance that it's going to sell off because it's filled in the gap already. There it is. The dollar is support right there right now. So we got to keep an eye on all those. New Zealand yen, that could be a push up. Daily range is up into here. Euro yen, it's filled in the gap, but it could push up into here. The New York session is not open yet. It's got 34 minutes. So that's when the volume is going to come in. Euro CAD, looking for a push up into here, fill in the gap. Pound Aussie, it's at its daily range, but it could push up into here, test that daily pivot. But we could have a little pullback for New York session, and then they want to take it up. So it could come back down into here. Pound yen coming down. Euro New Zealand trying to push up now. So anything y'all want to look at, I can do that for you. Just let me know. a second. I'm gonna get rid of my coffee. I'm done for it at my 2-cup limit for the day. Okay, I'm back. I am back. Pretty sure I didn't miss anything. Oh wow. Yeah, I need to check on that Euro Aussie and see why it doesn't have the yearly pivots on it. Like I said, you can get those anywhere. You can get those anywhere. Do 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 do. Getting too many messages today. Too many messages. Pound dollar trying to push down now. Got less than 28 minutes before the New York session open. So one last time we'll go through these. It's the pound dollar. It's made a 1 hour sell. I really hadn't had a chance to get in. The better position is the push up into here, the low risk trade to sell. Aussie dollar, 1 hour sell. There was your push up. You probably took off half of your position, and then your break even takes that out, probably going higher. Euro CAD looking to fill in the gap up here. CAD yen, it's made its 1 hour signal, but there's nothing to do on that, so you still got another hour or two to wait on that. Aussie yen made a 1 hour sell. You could have got in there, I guess. It just hadn't gone anywhere yet, but it does have the potential to go up to here, take out that high, and then go up even higher for about another 20 pips, 25 pips for its range on the day, which would take it up above that. Pound Aussie, we're looking for a test up into here, maybe even a little bit above it, but there could be a pullback first before it heads up because the New York session is not open, got less than 26 minutes. Pound CAD looking for a gap fill up in here. Pound yen, we got the gap fill. It hit the higher daily range, but we do have a yearly resistance now. This was support. As you can see, it went up, touched it, it sold off. We could push back up and try it again, but we have hit the daily limit close up in there, but it could push a little bit higher and retest that yearly pivot. But I would think they're going to try to drive it down here to get in and then push it up, because if they push it up into here, then it's more of a sell instead of a buy. Euro New Zealand trying to push up. It should test up in here, maybe a little bit above it, but it's had a big run with no retracement. I'd like to have a retracement back down into here to get in with a low risk buy before it heads higher. There's the yearly, which was support, is now resistance. We hit it. That's where it came through it, come back, retested it, and then sold off, and now we're trying to push back up. Pound New Zealand, it's got room to go up here. That was your only opportunity to get in. Long down here, but that'd been a high risk trade. That low is 2.0277, and that poke down is 30 plus the spread, which is about 5 or 6 for me, would make it 35, 36, which is over mine. I won't go over 30. That includes the spread. So it just kind of ran away. Nothing to do for me here unless it pulls back down here. See, again, this is yearly support. We closed below it. Now we're going back below it. If buck above it, if it comes back into here, I might look to be a buyer then, as long as it doesn't take that low out. If it does, then it's probably coming back on down into here and may even take out that low, which means we'd be going lower, and that would now be resistance. New Zealand yen sideways, Euro yen trying to make a push up. It already filled in the gap, but there's the potential to where it could go to is up in here today, but it's in a 1 hour sell. And Euro Aussie, if you didn't get in there, you missed it. Those two spots was your chance. There's the resistance. I just can't believe it's going straight up there before the New York session opens. That would tell me that's probably going to be a sell. You'd rather have a pullback down into here and then the push up for New York session up. So nothing to do on Euro Aussie. If you didn't get in there, you just missed it. There's plenty of others to look at. There's the pound CAD. For a sell, you need a push up back up into here. For the sell, make it low risk. Aussie dollar, need a push down where you can move your stop down if you got in up here. Then you can move it to, well, you should be at break even now. You can actually put a couple dollars on it if it takes these lows out. That way that one's going to make money no matter what. No matter what, and you would have already made money on the first part of your trade. Now I do a half. That's what I do. That's what I've done since I set all this stuff up when I started trading it in 2007. I just noticed the patterns, the ranges, and that was the places to take them off at, half of your position. Now you can do an eighth, a quarter, a third, whatever, 3/4, whatever you feel comfortable with. Or you can take the whole position off. It's just up to you. Everybody's different, so I'm comfortable at doing what I do. You got to find what you're comfortable at what you're doing, because I won't be here forever, so you got to be here and know what to do. Euro CAD got a gap to fill up in here. It's made us push down for hopefully the retracement where it can make a move up to fill in the gap. It could go up to hit that resistance, but that's a big range, so I'm not sure that's going to make it today. But it does have enough range to fill in the gap for today. So the pound CAD and Euro CAD is the ones that's got the two gaps to fill still. Gaps always get filled. You just don't know when. You look at stocks, you see those gap fills. It could take days, weeks, months, even up to a year, depending on how far it drove down where the gap came through, but they fill them. Aussie yen, did I show that one? It's not, it's in a sell, but there really wasn't a chance. I mean, besides right there, but I like to pull up to here. But when it does that, you're so close to where it can take out that high and go above the daily resistance up there, it could poke up above it or even close above it, so that'd be another 25 pips above that, so there's no reason to stay in that. And it filled in the gap right in there, and it's made a push up. It's kind of gone back sideways, so you got to watch it. For those of you that first time on here, you're asking what all this stuff is. That's a parabolic SAR. You can get that anywhere. MT4 Trading View. The green is an EMA moving average. You can get that anywhere. MT4 Trading View. These blue and orange, those are just trend direction. You can get those anywhere. The only ones you won't be able to get anywhere is these. This is what I created. That's my sell, and then I have buy signals too. And then these down here. These are all in with volume, price, momentum, RSI, time. All of these are in together. It creates these. And then these got these are clear. These are yearly pivots, yearly. You can get those, well, not everywhere, because I always had a hard time getting those, because there's the dailies out there, you can find them easy. The weeklies out there, you can find them easy. The monthlies out there, you can find them easy. But the daily are a little bit more difficult. I mean, the yearly are a little bit more difficult to find. I have them on there because, I mean, you can see what it does. Came down and hit it and it's gone up, and we could retest it again. But there is another one that's the resistance that's on up higher. But remember, these pivots, yearly pivots, will change January the 1st. So we got basically over 3.5 months for it to possibly push up to resistance that's higher and then sell off. Or we could push down back to support and then push back up and head toward resistance. So there's time for these to do that, but the clock is ticking on them. But they are major. The yearly pivots are major. They're a little bit stronger than monthly, weekly, and daily. And you can see why. See, we closed below it a pretty good bit. Came back up, closed above it, tested it, went up, tested it, went up, tested it, went up. So you can see how important it is, because these are long term. Because these countries just don't want these to get, where they're too low or too high, because it depends on their importing and exporting pricing. So it's very important to the countries that do trade. So New York session, we got less than 16 minutes. Less than 16 minutes left before the New York session opens. So again, I'll go over the subscribe. I've been on live stream, and I'm doing live streaming now. I had been doing videos for a long time until I was able to get my live stream all set up the way I wanted it. I do Forex swing trading. I don't do day trading. I have been there, done that, bought the t-shirt and burned it. I lost had to refund 2 accounts, and then I started hunting for something different and found Forex in 2007 and have been trading that ever since. So going on almost 17 years, and I do trade from home full time. This is my business. My wife doesn't work. So this is our income. And I'm on here Monday through Thursday. Every day I start at 8 a.m. Eastern time, go to about 10:30 or 11, depending on how the day is going. And then I come back on late in the afternoon US or early evening Asia session to check on the trades, possibly move them up, stops, and every once in a while there is a trade set up. Not very often, but sometimes in the Asian session. So I look for those. Friday I don't normally trade. And you ask why? I said because the big boys don't. If you look at the volume, it'll tell you that the volume on Friday is nothing unless it's the non-farm payroll report. But even then, it's not overly huge. It just makes a big old candle, 1 hour candle. It usually stays within that range the rest of the day. So they let the little guys, the little Trader Joe's, which is me and you, battle it out all day long, and where they're at the Hamptons enjoying themselves, and we're fighting over a couple of pips. So if they're not there, I'm not there. No reason to be there. But the only time I'm there is on non-farm payroll, and that's just for that hour after it. And that's it for me. My weekend starts. The volume drops off drastically on Friday, and the market makers do a lot of stop running. You can look at that by the charts. You ain't got to believe me. All you got to do is look at the charts and it'll tell you they're your stop runs on Fridays. So you have to ask yourself, if you're in a position where you have to trade every day, I would suggest you stop yesterday and do a demo account. If you're day trading and you're working a full-time job, again, I suggest you stop and look at swing trading. You can trade, you can work a full-time job and do swing trading. You're not going to be able to work a full-time job and do day trading, because if you have to do it at your place of work, chances are the increases chance that you could get fired. They catch you, they don't want you doing that. So I don't want that to happen to anybody, because you really need to concentrate on your job, not concentrate on this. You can concentrate on this more if you're doing swing trading. But you just go over the charts when you get home, or you look at it at lunchtime or on your breaks. I started out doing 1, 3, and 5 minute charts, kind of like everybody else, feeling, oh, I got to trade, I got bills to pay, I got to make money, trying to make a bunch of trades to get to a certain goal. You ask, do you have a goal? Nope, I don't have a goal for daily, because there's some days there is no trades. I have to accept that. You have to be willing. If you're going to be a swing trader, you have to be willing to accept that every day there will not be a trade set up. Maybe even 2 days there won't be a trade set up. So you have to be willing to trade with money that you can afford to lose. Don't use money that you got to have for a mortgage payment, car note, or to feed your family or provide for your family. If that's what you're doing, again, I suggest that you stop yesterday. Do a demo account. Just try to save up some money. Try to learn how to trade. And then get into trading, whether you want to do it full time or not. Hopefully it takes a while to get to that point. It's not going to happen overnight. Promise you that. New York session less than 10 minutes away, so we got to go through. See, the pound yen is not really pulling back where it needed to, so it could be a push up in there here before sell off, because it made a big move up overnight too. All the pound, anything tied to the pound was. There is the pound CAD and the Euro CAD, Euro Aussie, New Zealand Yen, Euro Yen. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put it in the chat. I'll answer them if I can. So I only use these parabolic SARs as a guide, because when they make a big like this, it becomes overextended, so the chances are there's going to be a push down to where this changes to negative, which would be like here where it went and then it changed to negative because it sold off. So it has to take that parabolic SAR out, the last one, for it to change, which means it would have to come down into here. That doesn't mean it can't turn around. It could come down into here, or even here, and it would have made the change, and then you could push up, because the SAR is probably going to be somewhere up in here, so it could make a push back up, which we would love, because then now we have a sell opportunity, a low risk trade up into here, and we'd be in agreement with the parabolic SAR for a trade. Now that was the big sell-off. That was on 10/6, which would have been Friday, the unemployment report, non-farm payroll, as I should say. And you had after that was over, that candle ends at 9. There's one that ends at 10, one that ends at 11, ones that ends at lunchtime, and then it went nowhere. So it took it out a little bit, went down, but you had to wait all that time. And then that's Sunday night with a gap got filled. So let's see if there's anything else. The Euro Aussie made a big, there's a parabolic SAR push, and then it just became extreme. And there was the change. Euro Yen doing the same thing. I'm expecting it's filling the gap, but New York session got less than 7 minutes. Oh, Euro New Zealand really didn't give us a chance to get in. Continue to push up. Nothing you can do on that. Are expecting it to go up and test this daily resistance. Pound New Zealand, same way, expecting to go up, test that daily resistance. That's a yearly pivot. We closed below it a little bit. It'll come back above it. There could be another test before it goes higher. They come down. It could take a couple hours to come down into here and test it and then go up. Have to monitor that. If it goes straight up, nothing to do. If it comes down, then you have a chance to do something. Pound CAD, Pound Aussie, same thing. That was your only chance to get in right there, but that was too high for me because I think that was 34, 35 pips. But I am expecting this longer term to go up. Would like to see it put it. I'm just doing a third of position, so the risk is only $30. Like to see it come down into here and then turn up. That would give me a better opportunity for a lower risk trade with a long term upside. Aussie Yen, nothing. CAD Yen, it's made a 1 hour sell signal, nothing to do there for about an hour and a half. Still nothing to do. Aussie dollar, you need to take out of these lows before you can move. You're at break even now, and you've took off probably whatever position you want, an eighth, a fourth, a third, a half, 3/4, whatever you feel comfortable with. Mine's a half. And then once that takes that out, then you can move your stop from break even, put a couple dollars on it. It's going to make money no matter what, and you don't have to look to get in another trade. That's what I like about Forex trading. When you do day trading and you got to make a ton of trades, most on average, and this is not from me, this is from all the brokerage houses, as I said, most traders that they consider, me and you, Trader Joe's, average 8 to 10 pips. That's where we take out. That means that you got to make a lot of trades in a day to make money. If you've got to pay bills with that and you feel like you have to trade every day, wow, I wouldn't want to be in your position. But then you got to find, once you get it, if you move your stop to break even, you get your 8 to 10 pips, chances are it's going to retrace that 8 to 10 pips and then move in your direction. So your stop has to be wider so it throws off the risk to reward ratio. Why take 8 to 10 pips when I'm showing you trades in here where you can get a whole lot more? And the most you're going to risk is $30 on one trade. And most of mine are a lot less than that. I've had them as low as $4.50 was all the risk, and that was with the spread. Because you have to add that in there. That's why mine is 30, and that's with the spread. I won't do no more than 30 because it throws off my risk to reward. Because if I do an Aussie dollar or a New Zealand yen, and theirs is a 60 to 70 pip range, and I'm taking off at 30, but then I got a risk at 30, all it is 1 to 1. It's just a flip of a coin. It needs to be 2 to 1 or more. So for those, you need a $15 risk to take off at 30. That's 2 to 1. If you get it at risk even lower, you're still taking off at 30. Now it becomes even greater, 3 or 4 to 1. That's what you want. But doing that day trading, having to take off at 8 or 10 pips, you're not going to get that. And most of you know by now, if you've been trading for any length of time, that 95% of traders that trade lose money. So there's only 5%, which is going to be brokerage houses and the big, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, all them guys that's got money know how to make money. So you have to be able to get in that 5%. And if you're on YouTube and you can find out easily, you don't got to believe me. You can look on there and see that there's a ton of people that do 1, 3, and 5 minute and some 15-minute charts. And you'll see that they had at one point 5,000-10,000 subscribers, and now you look on there at the people that are watching it live, they've got maybe 50 viewers, 100 viewers. What happened to those other 5,000, 10,000? They figured out these guys are not making money, or they're not transparent, or they're changing their numbers, which, again, I've said this before several times, you can change those Excel spreadsheets to make them look any way that you want to. So unless you follow them, you write their trades down, where they got out and all that stuff, and you do that every day, then you have to go back and look and see if they continually still have that same number. If it's been changed and you notice it's been changed, I would advise you to leave that room immediately. They can also change number. A lot of them, you'll see there's trade things down here. These can be changed too. And a lot of them use a demo account. So they're not losing any money. They're just trying to get subscribers and keep subscribers. Because they want to get paid by YouTube by getting so many likes and so many subscribers, and hopefully they can keep them tied to you to keep that measly little check coming in. I'm not about that. I'm not trying to get Taylor Swift's subscriber numbers and likes. My focus is on trading, teaching people to trade, where when I'm not here, they still know how to do it. And they can eventually work from home, have their wife at home, where you're making enough money to pay all your bills, live comfortably. This becomes a business, so you have to treat it like a business. Don't treat it like gambling. You do, you're not going to win. The house always wins. I'm sure you know that. Whenever you gamble, they always win. Same way in trading. So we got lit. Okay, the market is now open, so we should see some movements. Pound CAD, pound yen. None of those are moving yet. New Zealand yen still sideways. Euro yen. Euro Aussie's making a push up. It sure looks like it's heading up to there, don't it? And a Euro CAD. Nothing to do on the CAD yen for an hour and a half or so, at least. And the pound dollar kind of going sideways. Aussie yen. Nothing to do on anything. So don't force trades. Do not force trades. Let it come to you. It may not come to you today. It may not come to you tonight. It might not even come to you tomorrow. But you wait on the trade setup, or you put an order in where you're expecting it or hoping that it's going to come down to where you get in it. It's a low risk trade. see. Messages. Messages. The New York session is now open. For those of you that don't know, the Bank of Japan stepped in last week. I think it was last Tuesday or Wednesday, and they drove the market down at 300 pips. But that's just to send a message. That's all that was. That wasn't the real one. The real one is going to be anywhere close to 500, 600, 700 pips. And once it got above, had been telling everybody for the last month and a half this was going to happen. Once it got above 150, I was expecting a close above 150. That did not happen. It actually went to 150.16, and then the Bank of Japan stepped in and drove it down. About 300 pips on the dollar yen, and everything tied to the yen went down too. The pound yen was about 300. CAD yen wasn't too far off from that. The odd yen was down 180, I think. New Zealand yen about 150. And right now it's trading right around 149. So there's nothing to do. That's not going to happen until it gets back over 150. So I was in sell positions for a good month and a half. I sold in the 147.90s. I sold in the 148.90s. I sold in the 149.90s. And then I put my, I didn't have any stops. I'm willing to sell in there. I added to the positions knowing this was going to happen. I just didn't know when. But profit targets, I put all of those in and they were all hit, and I made over $2,500 in that one trade just on that. And there was people that was on here that were long, and I told them they were expecting it to go to 152, 153. I said, nope, it's not. It's going to 150. That's from past history, so that's a significant number. I could go a little bit, but one higher than 150, maybe even closer to 151 before they stepped in. But that's a certain number that they're looking at. And so they could, if we get back up there again, which we're a little over 100 pips away from, which probably won't happen today, but with the CPI report, it could. I think that's Wednesday, I believe. So if you're long, be careful on that. But I'm short again in the 148.90s. If it pushes up to the 149.90s, I'll add to that short. And hopefully replicate the same thing again. Because for a lot of people now, the house notes are around $2,000 a month, or if not more. That one trade would have paid for a month's mortgage payment. The New York session's open. Don't have a lot of movement just yet, and we really haven't been, which is kind of suspicious. Most of it's been during Europe's session. And when it comes to our session, we're not really moving. It's a slow mover. It's almost like any push-ups are just, they creep. It's like they're waiting on something, not sure what. Pound Aussie making a little pullback. CAD. This could be, if it pushes up, that could be a good place to get in, but it has pushed up to that daily high, but we're expecting this gap fill. That would be your stop. If it does pushes up into here, that's your stop. Go long up to the gap fill, and it could even push up, probably not today, but during Asia session close to the resistance. Now this will change at the end of the day is the only thing, so it could drop down to here for tomorrow, which would be at the close of today. So the Aussie dollar hit bottom 3 times here, trying to make a push up, but it's in a sell. There was your opportunity. You've already took off half your position. You moved your stop to break even. You don't have to look for a trade on that. You just monitor it now. Euro CAD looking for a push up into the gap. CAD yen, nothing to do. It's made a sell signal. Still nothing to do. Aussie yen looks like they're waiting on this CPI report. That's pretty important. So I need to see. I think that's tomorrow. I better double check that, hadn't I? Go to, all you got to do is go to Forex Factory, and it'll have it on there. What's coming up for all the countries today? We got at 10 o'clock final wholesale inventories, and that's the only thing for today, so that's probably not going to be a mover. So we'll go to tomorrow, because I think that's when it was supposed to be anyway. No, it's actually the PPI is tomorrow at 8:30 US time. That's the PPI. So let's try the 12th. Yeah, Thursday. Okay, Thursday at 8:30 Eastern time is the CBI. That's CPI. That's the big one. And there's a CPI and PPI for Swiss Thursday. So you have to keep an eye on all where they got the PPI too. And on Friday is just import prices for the US. That's not a big mover. So the CPI, that's probably what they're waiting on, is for Thursday, because that's a big one. The pound yen, Euro Aussie is one that ran away. If you didn't get that, I think that's 44, that's 64, so that's 20, about 24 pip risk. Now see, I would have got in that, but this happened at 1 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't up and it ran away, so nothing to do. Would have liked to seen a pullback down in here and then a push up, but it looks like it's just going to go up to hit the daily, up there, the daily range. So I can't do nothing on that. The pound dollar is in a 1 hour sell. You really didn't have a chance to get in. It needs to push up into here for a sell. Aussie dollar is in a sell. If you're in it already, if you got in it there, that was your stop. You should have took off some of your position when it pushed down here. Then you move your stop to break even. If it takes those lows out, you can actually put a couple dollars on it, on the rest of your position. Euro CAD looking for a push up to the gap in here. Did make a big move up, has retraced some of that, so it could push up into higher into that gap field today. Aussie yen nothing to do. It's made a sell, but there's really, I mean, unless you got in there, but it's not really gone anywhere yet. Pound Aussie made a big move up, daily range, but that's the daily target for today, which it could push up into there. Pound CAD looking for a push up for the gap fill. Pound Yen looking for a push up. It's made its daily range, but it could go up into here. There's the yearly resistance, which we sold off from, hit it, sold off, and it could retest that again. But I bet it already filled in the gap, and it's hit its daily range, so there's going to be resistance up in here. So it could be a chance that it pulls back down into here, and then it could be a buy. Nothing to do there, at least for me. Euro New Zealand ran away during the night time. It could push up into here. Pound New Zealand, that's a yearly support because it broke through it, but then it's climbed back above it. We could retest it back down into here, and then it could swing up. But it also has a daily range up to right there, which that could do before it heads down. New Zealand Yen gone sideways. It's got potential to go up into here today. That's its was resistance, it's now support. We closed above it, come back to it, have gone back above it. So will we retest it again and head higher, or will we go higher first? In no man's land, that's what I call it, no man's land. Euro Yen got its daily resistance. It's filled in the gap. It could go up to here to test it today, and it's in a sell, so that could be a sell, low risk sell opportunity, but nothing really to do there. There's the next test, is up here, which is about 300 pips away from where it's at. Is that right? Yeah, about. Actually 158. It's over 300. Yep. More like 400, ain't it? Yeah, it's 400 almost. So it's got over 3.5 months. It could do that, continually pushing up. Because at the January 1st, those pivots, because they're yearly, they change. Aussie. Yep, nothing really doing. Nothing's really moving either. That's the thing. Nothing is moving. Odd Yen trying to push up some, but it has the potential to head up to here today, take out that high and go higher by about 20-25 pips. There's not really no chance to get in. I mean, you could have got in right there, but I'd rather see it push up into here. And then there's my stop, low risk trade. Yep, if anybody got any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be here about maybe another 45 minutes to an hour doing live streaming. I go over that again. I've been live streaming for now to be 2 weeks on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. I would have been live streaming. If you haven't subscribed, I suggest that you do subscribe, and then you're also going to have to click on the notify me button, and it'll notify you when I'm on live streaming. I do Forex swing trading, by the way, for those of you who don't know, so there may not be trades every day. I do have a pound Aussie long position on, but it's just a third of a position, because I'll show you why. If you didn't get that was at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's ran up. But I'm looking at the bigger picture, which was the 4 hour, which is still in a buy. There's not made a sell yet. And looking for it to come up to test resistance, a yearly resistance. And this is my stop in here. But that's the reward. That's going to be, you know what, 3-4 to 1. But I'm just doing a third of position because it's most into the trade. Now this could sell off because this ran up without any retracement, so it could sell off. Excuse me. Back into here. Excuse me. Must be allergic to trading. Before it heads up, because it's got a little over 3.5 months, so it could push down here and then push up to resistance to test it, or it could push up here higher and then start selling off toward the end of the year. And these are reset January 1st at new. They'll be at new places. So that's why I'm doing a third of a position, as the risk to reward is almost 4 to 1. So I'm at a $30 risk and about $120 reward almost. So it's almost 4 to 1. So we'll go to 1 hour. No questions yet? Nobody? Okay, well that's fine. Let me push this back. The CPI on Thursday here in the US is going to be a mover. So on the 1 hour pound odd, you had a sell. There was a push down, hard to get in it. There was your chance to get in. The risk was 191.95, 191.95, and 14, 5, 5, 19, 20. So about $24 risk right there. $24 risk and for that. So that went from 14 to, it's over 200. So you'd have got out 60, half a position on 60. And then when it got down here, you'd have just been riding it down. When you got the push down, you got your 60, you moved it to break even. So that's going to not lose any money. So when it got back up, made a little retracement, then it pushed down, took that low out again. Now you can move your stop down in here. Now that's made pretty good money. And you just kind of follow it down as it makes the pushes lower. Pound dollar, nothing. Aussie dollar, trying to make a little push up. Just hit some little resistance right there. Euro CAD trying to come down some. Aussie yen trying to make a little push up. Euro Aussie, Euro yen. We're looking for something up in here. New Zealand yen trying to make a little push up, expecting something up in here. New Zealand trying to sell off, which is okay. We're looking for it to come back down here for a chance to buy. Euro New Zealand, they could come up into here. Would rather had a chance to come back down because it ran away. Needed to come back down into here for a chance to buy. Go up to resistance where it fell from. Touched it, fell off. But we'll have to see. This could push up into here today. If it does, that means we're probably going up here first before we come down. Pound yen, nothing, filled in the gap, done its daily range. Pound CAD coming down a little bit. Nothing really to look at, nothing to do. You have to be patient. You get paid to wait. I'm sure you've all heard that before. Get paid to wait. Now, if you're doing day trading and you're trading 1, 3, and 5 minute charts, then you're not waiting. And there's a lot of people out there that's like that. I call them gunslingers. You say, why do I call them gunslingers? Because they got to be in and out of trades several times a day, because they're trying to reach a goal to make money. So the EuroCAD, looking for a push up to fill in this gap, may or may not happen today. But if it does push it up into here, we could get in a position with a stop right there, and then a profit target up into here. So that would easily be about 2, almost 3 to 1, 2.5 to 1. But you don't force the trade. It has to come to you. I'll be recording this for those of you that miss it or you want to go back and watch it. I should have it up probably after lunchtime. That's U.S. time, Eastern. Probably around 12, 1 o'clock, something like that. Sometimes it's a little bit later. Sometimes YouTube server is a little slow and it takes a while, because this is like a 2.5 to 3 hour video. So it takes it a while to record it and process it and all that stuff. Yep, nothing to do. These are parabolic SARs. For those of you who don't know, you can get those anywhere on TradingView or MT4. The purple line here, and I have one up much higher. These are yearly pivot. They're not daily, they're not weekly, they're monthly, they're yearly. These are the most important because they're longer term, they're stronger. So as you can see, it went down to it, made a move up. We're still up above it. Are we going to come back and retest it, or are we going to go higher to the next one? You can kind of see what happened, because it had gone below it, closed below it, went up, tested it, then it went up a little bit, come back, retested, went up even higher, come back, retested it, went up even higher. And there's where it broke below it, closed below it, and went down further. That was 121.19. It actually went down to 120.36. So that was, 80 something pips below the line. And here's where we came and tested it again. Came down to it, ran up a little bit, came down to it, went up even higher. So you see how important that is, those yearly pivots. Something's going to happen there. Could go below it, could just touch it, go below it a little bit. But the yearly pivots are strong. That's why I have them on there. That's because it tells the message. And you can see the par is way overextended, so we're looking for a push down, and that's going to become a negative par. Then we'd like to see a push up into here where the par is going to be close to it, and then sell off with a low risk trade and hopefully come down and retest it. The 4 hour, it ran away. See the 4 hour signal, so we're looking for to come back, hopefully down into here to retest it, to give us a low risk trade, maybe fill in some of that wick, which it usually does, which would be down into here, and then we push higher. So I just use 1 and 4 hour charts. You say, why do I use 1 and 4 hour charts? Because the big boys, the 1 in the 5%, this is what they use. They don't use anything any lower than that. So why are we using 1, 3, and 5 minute charts? Because that's why we're in the 95% of losers. We have to make money. We feel we have to make money every single day in trading. So there's forced trades with the risk to reward is lopsided. As like I said earlier this morning, you can go back out and find this on the internet yourself. The brokerage houses, the one that take all these trades, they have the figures and numbers, and the average Joe, which is me and you, on average take 8 to 10 pips every trade. Except for me, I don't do that. And there's others out there like me that kind of trade similar swing trading, but most everybody else, when they get the 8-10 pips, they take it off, move the stop to break even, and it can retrace that 8 to 10 pips really easy, and then you could actually be right and it went higher. Because you got your risk to reward is messed up, that's why it doesn't work. People that trade mostly gold, they're on YouTube. If you trade gold, I don't trade it. If you trade gold, I've seen them use 30-minute and 1-minute charts, but they don't look at the daily ranges for the day, and they don't look at the risk to the reward to where it could be, and then they do the same thing. It moves, well, it's not going to be pips for gold, but it's more than likely going to be, 2 points, and it can easily retrace that 2 points and then stop you out because you had to move your stop to break even because your stop was too wide. So you want 2 to 1 risk to reward or more, preferably more, but as long as you get 2 to 1, you should be good. But you have to know where these ranges are on these currencies, and they're all different every day. So they may be selling, like for instance for gold, but it's not made its daily range on either way, and they could turn around, they want it to go the upside, and then they're wrong because they didn't have the range just set, and vice versa. So they're buying. Excuse me. I have to get some water. So it's 10 o'clock. It's not really nothing. I mean, there was news here at 10, but it's not important here in the U.S. So it's not really going to be a great mover. Euro Aussie trying to pull down. Euro Yen trying to push up. New Zealand Yen trying to push up. We know I've already gone. You're welcome to go back and look at this recording at the end of the day. I do have in the 2 weeks of almost 2 weeks, be 2 weeks tomorrow, I've been live streaming. I have had losers in there. You've been able to see it. I've had winners. You've been able to see it. You see when I move my stop loss. On a lot of these, they make a straight 25, 26 pip move up with no retracement, and then it starts to come back and it's wiping all that out. If I have my stop at break even before then I will put a couple dollars on it, because then chances are it's wrong, because it shouldn't make that same retracement back down. On the, in particular on the Aussie dollar, the New Zealand dollar, those are like 30 pip. Take off half. For me, it's half. If it moves up close to that 30, then it starts selling off and is retracing, a big majority of it, like in the low 20s, then I'll move my stop up a little bit, because chances are it's going to come down and stop it out, and it's not correct. That's what it means. It's not correct. It's not the time for it to move. because I had good money management, I was able to get off the half the position, and the other half would make a couple of bucks. But I have had positions where I've lost several in a row, but they were all low risk. For instance, they were $10 a piece. You had 10 straight trades. That's $100 that you'd have lost. But then the one trade, like here, which wasn't here, wasn't able to get that, it was back over here. Last week, it was the Bank of Japan step in right there that day. This is the trade that I was in. This one I'm talking about. I have the buy signal show up, runs up a little bit, then it pokes back down, gives me the trade, the low risk trade, and this trade would wipe out all 10 of those. Plus, I would have had a lot more profit too, added to that. So basically, I could have posted so far this week, like a lot of these on YouTube do. I had 1 win, I had 10 losers. Now, if that's all I showed you, you think you're going to stay on my YouTube channel? Probably not. 1 win, 10 losers. He's terrible. It's the pips that counts. How many pips did you count? Did you take off half a position or a third of a position or whatever you're comfortable with and then trailed it back up? You actually had another opportunity to get in right here, which is what I did. When I seen that come down, I was in position, took off half the position, and I still had trailed my other position. It got stopped out as I had trailed it up, because I was able to move it up into here, and it pushed up, and then I got stopped out down here. But then when I seen it came back down here, another low risk trade, and there's the rest of the position. Now I got out here, I didn't get out there, I got out here. Of course it sold off from there, but then with that Bank of Japan stepping in, that was that. So that's why those numbers are deceiving when you see those on the YouTube page, because a lot of the guys have these. This is my wins and losses for today. This is my wins and losses for the week. This is my wins and losses for the month. This is my win and losses for the year. Now they may have, 49 wins, 20 losses, so many break-evens. That doesn't tell you anything. How many pips did you get? What was the losers you had? How many pips was that? That's what you need to know. You don't need to know how many wins, because then you can divide it once you found out the number of pips that they got, what they averaged. And on average, it's going to be 8 to 10 pips for the average trader Joe, which is me and you. Except for me, I don't average that 8 to 10 pips. You see here, this is what I can average. So which would you rather trade? That's what you have to ask yourself. Because the YouTubers, most of them want subscribers and likes, keep you tied to their channel, so they got to entertain you every single day, every hour, every how long they're on there. It's not about trading, it's about entertaining, keeping you tied to them. So if that's what you want to be entertained, that's where you need to be. If you want to learn how to be able to trade, make money, eventually be able to work from home and have your wife work from home, or if you're female doing it, have your husband at home. This is the route to go, Forex swing trading. Because you can get in trends like this. This was over several days that this happened. Would have liked to get into this, but by the time I got up 1 o'clock in the morning, no way to get it. So I have to wait for a retracement back down into here, or wait for a setup down into here. If it's not too late in the day where it can move up to there. If it gets late in the day, then chances are it's not going to reach that today. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. trying to push up. We're expecting it to go up into here. Euro Aussie, Euro Yen. Because it's filled in its gap. The Euro Aussie, New Zealand Yen's filled in the gap. Looking for a takeout up to that. Pound Yen. It's made its range. It's got a sell. It's filling the gap, but it could push up to the yearly resistance where it fell from. Pound CAD. Looking for a push up into the gap. Pound Aussie. Need to pull back down into here. Or maybe even to here to add to the position. That would be the stop. Aussie Yen trying to push up, which it could go up into here, take that high out and go about 20-25 pips higher. CAD Yen, nothing to do. Made a 1 hour sell signal, but nothing really there yet. You would need a push back up into here to see it hit resistance right there twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then it's sold off a little bit. So I'll push back up into here, would give you a risk right there where you could sell. Low risk. Euro CAD, looking for a push up to fill in the gap today. Aussie dollar trying to push off of that. It hit it a couple of times, 3 times. It's in a sell. You should have already been in it right there. Got most of your profit. You're at break evens. This is what I'm talking about. When it does the 30 pips, it starts to retrace it. Chances are it's going to take it out. At least that. Go up into here. So you still got a little bit on your trade because you're up here. But you can actually put $1 or $2 on it, no more than that. But then it's going to make money, and you already made money. You don't have to look for another trade yet on it. Pound dollar, there's the push up that you're wanting up into here. As it's made its range for the day. It could still push up a little bit higher. That's an extended, that could happen. But the parabolic SAR is getting overextended. So we're expecting some kind of retracement down for that to change to negative. So there's nothing to do. Nothing to do. It's 10 after 10 US time. Live streaming here. You're welcome to go back and look at all my videos. I've got about 150 of them. Most of those last anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes at the most. Most of them are shorter than 15 minutes, so don't take long to go over them. And you'll be able to see there were some trades on there that I had taken, losers and winners. And then my live streaming have started. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow that I've been on. Come on at 8 o'clock in the morning US time. I go until about 10:30 or 11 a.m. US time. Depending on how the days are going, like about 20 minutes I could be off here. There's nothing going on. But then I record it, and you're welcome to go back and look at it. It's usually at a little after lunch before it's posted up on YouTube. And that's Eastern time. And that's Monday through Thursday. And Friday I am normally not on Fridays, because I don't trade on Fridays. I just monitor the position and adjust stops and profit targets. Unless it's non-farm payroll, which happened last week, and then I do the same thing. I'm usually out of the positions before that comes out. Because normally in that 1 hour candle it makes, or actually an hour and a half, because it comes out at 8:30 that it stays within that range the rest of the day, or most of the day, and the volume drops off. And then on Fridays, normally without non-farm payroll, you can see the volume just drop off drastically. And it's because the big boys, the ones that's in the know and make the money, are going to the Hamptons or wherever. They've made their money for the week. They want the 3-day weekend. And the average Joe is left fighting because they're trying to make so much money every day to pay their bills. So they let them fight it out, and the market makers make the stop runs up and down. So there's no reason for me to be in it. I would suggest there's no reason for you to be in it. I found I keep up with my trading, the trades I make every day, and over time, past history shows when I had traded earlier in my career on futures, but even before I got to Forex, on futures and the Forex, Friday was my worst trading day by far. So once I eliminated that, wow, trading became better, and profit became easier, quicker. I didn't have to worry about losers on Friday. Mondays is kind of bad too. They're setup days, what I call setup days. They're set up for the rest of the week, how the rest of the week is going to be in. So it moves in one direction. Don't mean it's going to be in that direction for the rest of the week. It could get exactly the opposite, and then it would be that way the rest of the week. So on my live streaming, you'll have to subscribe, and then you'll also going to have to click on the notify me button, and then you'll be notified by YouTube that, hey, I'm on live stream now, and you can just go right to it. And that's the only reason for the subscribing. Of course, unless you like the education I'm providing for you, then I welcome your subscribe. Like I said many times, I'm not trying to get Taylor Swift subscriber numbers or likes. I'm not in this for that. A lot on YouTube are, and it's because I got to entertain you. So I don't know about you, but I want to make money and want to learn how to trade and be able to do this from home. Don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work. But it's not for everybody, and that's what makes the world go round. So the pound dollar is pushing up now. I think it had a little bit higher. It could potentially go, yep, up into there. That's more major resistance. See, like it was there. Poked above it a little bit, but then it sold off. Good retracement. A little over half of that move up from Friday. And now it's gone higher. So it could push up into there again and do the same thing. The dollar trying to push up. See, it's wiping out, trying to wipe out that whole move right there. See, on all this stuff, you don't have to take my word for it. You see about the 25. But luckily, that went more than 30 pips if you got in there. So you got half the position off, or whatever you feel comfortable with, and then your stop is at break even. And now, because it's pushing up and then go any further than that, now you can put $1 or $2 on that one, and that one's going to make money. Because if it stops it out, comes up and stops it out, chances are it's probably going higher. See, it got up to the daily resistance there, and it's sold off. It's like it did over here, went punched above it a little bit, but then it sold off. Friday's move too, a good majority of it.
Johnny Page's dad.
In EuroCAD, it's hit its resistance once, got close to it a couple times, hit it again, looking for a gap fill up in here. That may or may not happen today, could be tonight or even tomorrow. CAD yen. There's your push up, which you kind of want. Made the sell signal. You don't really want to get in that one. This is the one you want to get in, lower your risk. If it takes that out, it could go higher. But it's up at the high end of the daily range. But it could still push up a little bit more past it and actually close above it before it sells off. Aussie yen pushing up. Like if you want to take a low risk sell, this would be the place. But it can also, it's come up close to that, didn't hit it, but it could come up in here again, come up and close above it, which would be about another 20-25 pips, and then sell off. Pound Aussies pulling down, kind of what I want, even though I'm in it long. Add to the position because I'm in small, just a third of the position, a $30 risk. I'm not worried about that. Pound CAD, got to fill in the gap just like the Euro CAD. Pound yen, trying to push up. It could come up in here, test. That's the yearly where it sold off from. It could come and retest that, up close to that. Euro New Zealand coming down, which is what we want. It ran away. We needed a pullback down into here for a buy opportunity, but it could only come down into here. Just depends what it makes, and then make a potential to come up. Yearly resistance right there again where it sold off from, could retest that. Now New Zealand's pulling down, looking for it to come down in here. Yearly resistance. New Zealand yen has pushed up. That's what we thought it was going to do. It's probably going up to here, put a little bit higher. The Euro yen, it's filled in the gap, could push up to there. Euro Aussie, now it's pulling back some because it ran away, couldn't get in, looking for a pullback down into here. But they could turn this around down in here and test the daily range. But these change every day, just like the yearly ones will change January the 1st. They'll be different. The CAD yen trying to push up still. So there's nothing to do on none of these. Dollar yen, I need to do a check on it. Dollar yen. It is trading at, where's that? Just below 149. Nothing to do on that. I'm in a position short, and the 148.90 is about where it is now. I'm willing to add to that position if it pushes up to the 149.90s. Expecting the Bank of Japan to step in again at some point. I'm waiting on the bigger move down. The one I had last week was just a send a message. Wasn't the real move. Hold on a second. Got to make a very important phone call. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Won't be on here much longer. Maybe another 5 minutes. We'll go over this stuff again. For those of you just got on here, doing live streaming. I'll be 2 weeks tomorrow. That would have been live streaming. I record these sessions, so you're welcome to go back and look at them. I have past videos, about 150. You're welcome to go back. They don't last as long as the streaming ones. They're anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes at the most, and most of the time they're less than 15 minutes, so it doesn't take long. But if you're wanting to follow me, just subscribe to my channel, and then you're also going to have to click on the notify me button, and YouTube will notify you when I come on live streaming. Makes it easy because I'm on Monday through Thursday, 8 till 10:30, 11. Like today, there's not really nothing doing anything. So I'll probably leave out here at 10:30 here in a couple minutes. I'll have a video, the recording of the video posted be after lunch, usually around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then sometimes I come back on again. You'll have to be notified. You have to click subscribe and then click on the notify me after you subscribe, and you'll be able to see when I come back on, which is sometimes in the late afternoon US session or early Asia session, and I'm on for like about 30 minutes or so, unless everybody has questions and stuff. It'll be a little bit longer. So when I do Forex swing trading, for you that don't know, I don't do day trading. Sometimes there's not trades. I have one I put on today, a pound Aussie long, but it was just a third of position based on the 4-hour chart, the range I'm expecting it to go to, and I already had my stop loss in place, so I got a $30 risk on the stop. And I had about a 70 or 80 pip profit target with the third of position, so it's like 2.5 to 3 to 1 risk to reward, and that's what I look for, those trades. And those don't happen every day. Sometimes they don't ever have 2 days. Sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. So we'll go through these one more time. You're welcome to ask questions, comments, and I'll try to answer everything I can. Pound dollar, it's in a 1-hour sell. It is pushed up. It has the potential to go up here with a daily range, high-end daily range. The parabolic chart is starting to say we're overextended. It's going to be selling off. Could retrace back down here to yearly support, or just back down into here to kind of take that out, stop up some people that's got stops there down in here, and then turn around and go up. Aussie dollar doing the same thing, had a 1-hour sell. Be hard to get into that. If you got into that one, you done made half your position. It's retraced. It should have moved when it does this, and then it starts retracing and is wiping out all the move down. Then when you got your stop at on your entry, then put $1 or $2 on it and leave it, and it's either going to get it. If it does, it's going higher. If not, you've made money for the day on both of the trades. Euro CAD, expecting a gap fill up in here that may not happen today. CAD yen, It made a sell. There was your poke up right there to get in your sell. That's your stop. Now you just got to monitor it. If you got in, it's come down some. Aussie yen making a push up. It's got a 1 hour sell. Same thing. If you wanted to sell there, there's a stop, but I'm expecting a move up into here. Another 20-25 pips to take out that high before it sells off, but it could sell off from right here and come down. But it's a low risk trade right there. The high is 95.60. That high is 54.6. So about 8 or 9 pip risk was right there. Was all it was. If you're right, it's going to come down. Take those lows out. You're going to get half your position off and able to move your stop to that entry. And then just monitor it. But it is daily range. It has the potential to go up here and push up a little bit above it, which is about 20-25 pips higher. Because your risk was there. If you didn't get out, now you've added to your risk. The pound Aussie is coming down. That's what I want, even though I'm in a long position, but it's for a longer term. Expecting to push down into here. Pound CAD coming down. Looking for a gap fill on it up into here. Pound yen. It's made its daily range. It didn't quite get there at the extended, but it could get up in there, and that's a yearly pivot that it could retest where it fell from. So you have to monitor that. But a better trade would be a pullback down into here, which would take most of the day, and then you'd have to monitor it tonight for a turnaround to the upside for a retest. You just want to make it where it's got a low risk trade. If it takes out that low coming down in there, that's where your stop is. If it takes that out, it's going much lower. Euro New Zealand pulling back. That's what we want. It ran away. We need to pull back down into here for a buy. If it tries to turn around, there's its first resistance is right there. Pound New Zealand, same way. That's a yearly pivot, looking for a pullback down into here somewhere for a potential buy. Puts up. It ran away too. A better one would be down into here, the low risk, and then a turn up. New Zealand yen is going to push up to resistance right up in there, maybe a little bit above it, so it's still got a little ways to go. It's making a 1 hour sell signal, but that doesn't end for 27 minutes. Nothing to do on it. Euro yen filled in the gap. Could have a push up to resistance up there. Nothing to do on it. Euro Aussie pulling back now. That's what you prefer. Where to pull back down in here. But they could turn this thing around and make a push up to here today. Now those are changed at the close today in the US. Those will be different. And those are 1 hour. So that's everything for today. If nobody has any other questions, I'm going to call it a day. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Please hit this like and subscribe button for me if you would. And if you want to follow my channel and be notified when I'm live streaming, you'll have to subscribe first. Then you'll have to hit the notify me button. And then YouTube will notify you when I'm on live streaming. And then you'll be able to get to it easy. So I hope everybody has a good rest of the day and a good evening tonight. If you're in trades, manage your money, move your stops, have your profit targets set on your first half and then for your second half as well. And we'll see you guys on tomorrow. Thank you for being here today, by the way.